It's Christy with Stampin' Texas, and boy do I have a cute project I want to share with you, a really cute card. This card showcases several new products that are in the Occasions catalog, and I just love this card. Isn't that so pretty? It can be done kind of in Valentine's colors, but I've seen it in beautiful blacks and white and gold, all sorts of fun colors. But I wanted to share with you the Heart Thinlit and give you some tips on cutting that out, as well as some of the new products, the new stamp set, and some tips for stamping on the heart. So stay tuned and let's get going making this cute card. All right, let me share with you what you're going to need to make this card. First of all, I just want to focus on the heart, and then I will share with you the measurements and things for the cardstock pieces you'll need, because this is a great paper saver card, and you'll see what I mean when we get to that part. But the first thing I wanted to share with you is this adorable heart and how pretty that is using the Bloomin Heart Thinlits. Now the large heart is what we're going to be using, but I also wanted to show you real quick. There are two other adorable little flowers that you could cut out using your framelits, and they fit perfectly on these little areas. But what we're going to need is our heart framelit and, of course, our Big Shot die cutting machine. But before I bring the Big Shot into view, I wanted to share this precision plate with you. The precision plate is a really handy tool. It's a very sturdy, strong plate, and it's designed so when you use your framelits with intricate details like this, it's designed to really cut through nice, clean cuts every time. Now, let me make mention of right here, it says this is not a cutting surface. So you don't want to cut on this side. And look what I did. Oh yeah, I learned the hard way, but I did learn. This is the side you want to cut on. So let me get the Big Shot into view and get it all set up and show you how to line it up. Okay, I've got my Big Shot here. I've got the multi-purpose platform, and this comes with the Big Shot when you first purchase it. I'm going to use the precision base plate. This is an additional extra cost, but if you like these intricate framelits and things, it'll work beautifully with it. So I'm going to put that with the black side up, get my white piece of cardstock and my heart framelit. Then I'm going to put my clear acrylic cutting pad on top, and we're going to actually run this through back and forth just a little bit. I always give it an extra run through for good measure, like that. Now, at this point, I wanted to share with you a fun new tool that Stampin' Up! Came out with in the Occasions catalog. It's this little handy brush. And I'm going to show you, this is really fun, and it's neat to see how this works. But it comes with a brush and a little foam mat like this. Let's see, it doesn't matter which way I turn it. So that when you're done taking this off, instead of poking through all these little bitty holes to punch it out, you're going to lay that on your mat and just start brushing over the back of it. All the little bristles of the brush go right into those holes, like so. And that just really helps to get all those little pieces to let go. Let go of your intricate framelit. Isn't that nifty? Now there's just a few little stragglers. That one's really wanting to hang on. There you go, but you get the idea. So this little foamy brush, foam mat and brush really comes in handy for these intricate dies. Now let me grab my stamps and my cardstock and we'll start putting the card together. All right, here are the pieces that you're going to need to put together your card. This is a piece of rose red cardstock. It's cut to 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle and folded. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. You're going to need a piece of crumb cake that measures 4 inches, 4 inches by 3 3/4 inch. So 4 inches one way, 3 3/4 the other. And then these are little strips of paper. These are just 1/2 inch by 4 inch strips of paper. And this particular designer paper is from the, I think it's the Love Blossoms designer paper that kind of coordinates with the entire Bloomin Love grouping of products. Really, really neat products. So we're going to use the little flowers out of here to stamp on our heart, and I'm going to give you a couple tips for lining up. See, and you can tell on my sample card, I'm not right on exactly, but that is okay with me. I just roll with it. So you'll need these little pieces. This is Blushing Bride. So I'm going to set those aside for a moment, but let's take our heart and put it in the middle. Now, here's the hard part, is figuring out, because this little stamp will stamp on the little areas, but how do we know which direction for it to go? So here's what I do. I'll take my stamp, I'll set it down on the heart like this, and then I kind of twist and turn till I see how it lines up, and then I take my clear block. Oh, it's wanting to stick because it was sticky from some ink, but then I take my clear block like that. Now, the other thing I do make note of is that this particular block has a little dot on the bottom, so I know that that's going to face my body. That's facing me. So let me get the Blushing Bride. And we're going to use, boy, goodness, we're going to use Blushing Bride for the little hearts, and so it should line up fairly well. If I could see here, I'm kind of getting a weird glare from the window too. And of course, doing things on camera. Hey, that's pretty good. So let's try this next one. And I just turn it just a little bit for a guide. Now that one's a little off, but that's all right. It really is nice because it doesn't have to be just perfectly exact to add just a little pop of color. So that was done in Blushing Bride, and now we're going to do the 2 large ones in Rose Red, and let's do the same little technique. Now, you can tell mine I have been using quite a bit, so it might not be quite as easy to line up. But there we go, about like that. Get my block. Oh, and you know what? I have my washi tape up on top this time, but since I know I'm doing this right now, I know which way it goes. So I'm going to turn it just a smidge. Hey, not bad. Very good. And then again, turn it just a little bit as I'm looking through there. That is a great thing about the photopolymer stamps, is you can usually get those lined up pretty well. And actually, I'm going to leave Rose Red open, because what we're going to do is we're going to stamp along the bottom left-hand corner. Now keep in mind, when you're going to stamp this, you want the 4 inch side here and here. The 3 3/4 inch side is down at the bottom. So let me get the word friend. This is also from the Bloomin Love Stamp Set. So it's all in there. We're going to get the word friend, stamp it right there. And the last thing we're going to do on our cardstock base is stamp that flower. So let me stamp that, and then we will put it all together. Remember I said this was a paper saving card? Well, here's why. Remember those 4 strips that I had out in the beginning? Those are just strips to come off the ends. It's not actually a full sheet of paper behind there. So many times when you're making a mat and you want a mat bigger, that uses a lot of cardstock. Well, why not just cut little strips and stick them on either end? So much cheaper. Your paper lasts a lot longer and goes a lot further for sure. So I've stuck 2 strips on there so far. So now we're going to add on these last 2. This. Now you'll notice my little hearts go upside down, but that's okay because I just wanted a little something. If that bugs you, you may have to cut the paper differently to flip it around, but it doesn't bug me, so I just go on. So we'll put snail all over. We're gonna put that on the front of our card. And then the last thing we're gonna do is use the fine tip glue pen. This is a handy glue that you will want for intricate items like this. And then I just go through, whoops, sorry, I bonked the camera. I just go through and add my adhesive. A dot here, a dot there, along the edges. This glue pen really works so well and so easy. The liquid glue, like a Tombow glue, would probably work too. I guess I like this because it also, well, Tombow dries clear, this dries clear. It's just so much easier to handle with that little bitty tip. So at this point, when I flip it over, I'll stick that down. Oh, and I see a straggler piece up there. Looky there. What are you doing there? Get out. I'll put that down like that, but then I'll flip it over, and that's where I'm going to press on the back of it to make sure it adheres. And then I don't get glue all over my hands. But there you go. A really fun, quick, cute card using the Bloomin Love Stamp Set and the framelit, the heart framelit. So much fun. So get all the details and more project ideas in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and happy stamping!